welcome to my video. My name is Noemi and I am the creator and owner behind n.r.b Crafts. So fall is approaching pretty quickly, so I thought it would be time to start our fall design tumblers. So for this tumbler, I am going to kind of mix designs, and I haven't seen a lot of people do this, and I am going to do a striped peekaboo tumbler for this video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will have the glitters linked in the bottom. The glitters are gorgeous. They are from my lovely friend Jen from Rocky Road Creations. You guys have seen me use some of her glitters in the past, and I just love her glitters. They are super cute, super vibrant under epoxy. If you saw my lemon abstract that I made inspired by Jessica Flynn from Flynn Sisters Boutique, you guys can see that those glitters are vibrant under that epoxy that I put on the tumbler. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so these are the colors that I mostly use. I use almost all of them except for that yellow one. And I am using two different sizes of masking tape. So here you can see I am starting off with my thickest one. So I'm just going to interchange from small to thick and thick to small, going all the way to the bottom of the tumbler. So I am folding it in a little bit just so that it helps me when I go to remove the tape. That way I'm not just like struggling trying to take off the masking tape, because sometimes it happens. So after I finish going down all the way to my tumbler, I am going to start to remove the thicker pieces of tape, and just using some Mod Podge and going in and kind of just scattering some of my glitter. And I am using 3 different colors of glitter here just to mix it and get kind of like my fall theme going here. And I am just going in with a dry brush after I finish all that glittering to knock any of that excess glitter off, and I am going to repeat my process. So after that, I am going in with my 3 colors again, just so that I can have my glitter have that nice solid coat that I like, and that way we won't see any of the stainless steel tumbler. Even though we did paint it in the beginning, I did start off by prepping my tumbler and spray painting it. So I am just going to repeat the same process, and I wasn't really too careful on matching where the colors were from the first time, if that makes any sense. So that way I can just go in and just have full coverage on my tumblers. And I am going to remove that first thin line of tape after I do my second glittering on that next piece, just so that I know that it's not gonna lift, and so that I know specifically where I have to apply my Mod Podge, because since I did knock off that glitter with the dry brush, it did kind of knock some off where my tape was. So I did want to get that really crisp line so that when I go to put my other colors into that, into where the skinnier lines are, that way I know where exactly it is, and those crisp lines stay throughout my tumbler. So after I finish this off, I am going in with a darker, like maroon color on those thin lines. And in the beginning, I was going to use that yellow and put it in the middle section. So like the second line in the video of the tumbler. So I ended up not doing that because I thought it was kind of gonna take away from how the tumbler was going to look overall. So I am actually very happy with how I ended up doing the tumbler, and I am glad I went in with that dark maroon color for all three sections for my thinner lines. And after I completely glittered my tumbler, I am going to just seal it with some clear spray paint so that none of my other glitter is contaminated when I go, just in case, when I go into epoxy my tumbler. And I am going to do about 40 mLs of epoxy on the tumbler once I finish it. And I am going to make sure that I have a completely smooth surface. So if you need to, or if you have like any fish eyes or any little bumpies, you could sand those down and apply a second coat of epoxy to make sure that you have a completely smooth tumbler. So with those 40 mLs, I had a completely smooth tumbler, so I didn't need to go in with a second coat. But if you do need to, if you end up placing like your decal or something over like your bump or something, or the fish eyes or anything like that, it might show up. So you do want to make sure you have that smooth surface. And here I am just going to retape my thin lines so that I could start working on my peekaboo. So for this, I am just going to go down my tumbler, and here I was struggling with trying to take the tape off because I wanted to fold it, but then I kind of just gave up and continued to do the rest of the lines on my tumbler. So after I finish taping this off, I am going to go into Cricut Design Space and just size my leaf decals the size that I need. And I believe the sizing that I used was anywhere from 1.5 to 1 inch, so that I didn't have like super humongous leaves on my tumbler, because I thought it would kind of make it look a little bit weird since my sections were, even though they were pretty big, it was just going to take up a lot, and I wanted to fill it with leaves all around. So after that, I am going in to sand the rim of my tumbler, and I cut my leaves out of stencil vinyl, and I am just using that little scraper as a tumbler holder so that my tumbler doesn't roll away as I am trying to put on the decals. So the stencil vinyl is actually really pretty smooth to take off. I was able to just use my fingers. If you need to use transfer tape, you are more than welcome to do that. I did struggle on some of them because it was kind of sticking, but it wasn't that big of a deal. So you're just going to want to sporadically place these all over your tumbler so that your whole tumbler is completely covered in these cute little leaves. And after this, I am going to spray paint it with a pretty ivory color that I have. If you saw the video from Wednesday, you saw the color on the laptop case that I made, and that is the same color that I am going to use on this tumbler. Once we finish putting our stencil vinyl, you can put like a little dot of hot glue if you have trouble seeing where your peekaboo leaves are. I didn't really have that much trouble. I just kind of eyeballed it, and then we're gonna spray paint the cup, and then as you can see here, we are going to remove the leaf stencils that we applied sporadically throughout our tumbler. And then we are also going to take off that tape that we have on the darker glitter sections, the thinner lines that we had applied, so that that glitter could also be revealed in our peekaboo design. So once we finish with all of this, I am going to go in with some metallic gold vinyl, and I am going to start defining my lines and breaking up those harsh edges from the glitter to the paint so it looks more like a uniform cup. So after this, after we finish that, we are going to apply our leaf decals over this. And when I tell you guys this cup, I love how it turned out, and I hope you guys really enjoy how it came out because I am in love with this tumbler. I think this is one of the ones that I am like super proud of how they came out, and I'm super excited for you guys to see the end result. So stick around so that you guys can watch the video and so that you can see exactly how this tumbler is going to turn out. So this is that gold vinyl that I mentioned before, and now that I have all of my leaves exposed and those lines, I am going to go in with this metallic gold vinyl, and to be honest, I probably would have done the lines a little bit thinner so that I could see a little bit more of that glitter and I wouldn't have like covering up so much of the red glitter, but I did end up fixing it a little with some burgundy-ish vinyl that I had, so I placed a thin line above this vinyl. So as you can see, I am just going to kind of eyeball it and align my vinyl and make sure that I have everything perfectly aligned before I go in with my X-Acto knife and cut off any excess pieces. So I am just going to apply my vinyl strips all throughout my tumbler all the way to the top, making sure I get the top and the bottom of those stripes so that we can have it looking uniform and it's pleasing to the eye. And here I cut my leaf overlays out of that same gold vinyl. You could either choose to um, weed everything out and then apply it to the tumbler, or do some reverse weeding before you do anything else and then go in and take out all of those little pieces. I I ended up doing probably a mixture of both on some of them because it was pretty hard on the little tiny leaves to get some of those little inner pieces out. So after I finished applying all of that vinyl on the leaves, I am going to go back in on the gold leaves where I have it overlapping the vinyl, and I am just going to cut off any overhang so that I have more of a clean look to my cup. So I am just going to use a sharp X-Acto knife and trim those off, and then you do want to be careful depending on what type of vinyl you have. This vinyl was pretty sticky and it didn't really want to cut correctly, so I had to be very careful with how I did things. And here I am just gonna go in with that burgundy vinyl that I told you I was going to use just to tie everything together, and after I apply this throughout all of those gold lines that I have, again making sure that you are aligning everything correctly and it looks nice and clean. So after I do all of that, I'm just going to trim off any excess, and I am going to apply my last layer of epoxy.
So like I said, we are just going to apply that last layer of epoxy, and this tumbler is nice and ready to go. And this is what it ended up looking up. This still needs the last layer of epoxy, but it is practically finished. So thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys in the next video. And I do have a small announcement. I will be having a ready to ship sale, so if you guys are interested in any of the cups that I have created in the past, I will have some of them available for purchase. Thank you guys so much for watching.